Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rose and Ben. We don't need no rocking chair. Rosie,
Yes, good morning.
how are you?
I am great. It's a great.
Dr. Katie, not mine.
Yes.
We ran a DNA on that, and that's not mine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, she's a blunk.
She is slinging bull this morning.
How did you know?
She texted me and said, "Bulls are flying out of here. We are
Oh.
slinging bull."
That's right.
Is it a bull sale they're having?
Well, she has bulls for sale.
That's kind of what I said.
Yeah,
but
they're
you rewording it probably makes a lot
yeah,
more sense.
but-
Yeah.
but
it
it's-
wouldn't be a bull sale. We have bulls for sale.
well, it's
Yeah.
not a sale per se. It's what do you call that? Private treaty.
It's not a sale, but a sale.
Yeah,
Sale.
you contact her and yes.
Bull is flying out of there, and I think she probably inherited that, Rosie.
You think?
So I want to introduce our first guest before you introduce our first guest.
Okay.
Okay, give the microphone to this beautiful young man. I'm not big on men actually, but he is a good-looking guy. Good-looking guy. Justin Goodnow joins us from north of here, and the reason you have the microphone, you're not on yet, but last Sunday, when was your birthday?
November the 2nd. Was Sunday? Yeah, I went to the casino. Don't ask how I did either.
Okay. Don't ask Rosie. And Rosie, you'll be probably part of our show when we do it down the line of the Americans who are just being crushed by gambling addiction, but we'll get to that later on.
Okay.
November the 2nd was Rosie's 91st.
That's correct.
Give the microphone back to Mr. Goodnow.
Okay.
So I know, Justin, that you can sing, and the reason I know that is there was a funeral up in your area a month or so ago, and they ended the funeral with the person saying, okay, if you didn't get a kazoo when you came in, you're a singer. And they did Amazing Grace with kazoos and singing. We're not going to do Amazing Grace, but we are going to do Happy Birthday. Are you ready?
No.
Okay, well, we've got to put Happy Birthday on hold. This is a little soon for a holdout, bud. I mean, you haven't even cashed a check yet, and you're refusing to do the duty. What's the deal?
Well, there's smoke coming off of it.
It'll bounce. It'll bounce. Drop that thing. So, Justin, I'm sorry, Rosie. I had planned Happy Birthday.
That's all. It's okay, but I understand where he's coming from too. And
Okay.
I don't know if he can sing or not. It's got to be good if he sings.
You're sure you're out of this?
I'm positive.
Okay, I'm going to do the fast version then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
remembering.
You're welcome. Oh, remembering. How many people have ever met you that forgot you, Rosie? Whoa, it does not happen.
Oh, thank you. But
So Justin Goodnow is our first guest today. I have known this young man a while. His daddy and I were running buddies back in the day, and it's a little fuzzy. I don't have all of the memories about it, but it seemed like it was a pretty good time. He was a rodeo guy, and there were specialists, as you know, Rosie. There are specialists in rodeo. There is today. In fact, there's a gal from here who's number one in the world going to the national finals this year.
well, we had a gal
Taylor is a breakaway rower.
Yeah. Well, we had.
Yeah, we know. Well, Bruce Goodnow, Justin's daddy, was a specialty cowboy, and he went to most all rodeos. He was the guy that specialized in dancing every dance after the rodeo.
I was going to get around and say, what's a special?
That's what it is.
Well, you know, we had a girl from Hartner, Colette Graves, that was a barrel racer.
Whose Graves is she?
Johnny.
Who's her daddy?
Johnny Graves. He brought a German, a French gal home from the war, and her mother, they lived north of Hartner, and I think she was pretty high up in the. She had a horse named Sugar Babe. Do you know anything? Remember?
You know Sugar Babe, Justin?
No, I can tell you about Colette that she has a rodeo record that'll never be broken.
Really?
She set the arena record at the NFR in barrel racing when it was at Oklahoma City. Well, it'll never be back at Oklahoma City, so that record will never be broken.
You know, there's one of my partners, a might be the only honest cowboy, oil man, farmer that I know. Dwight Hull from Winoka set a record that will never be broken because whatever it is, I can't remember what it is, but let's say it's the 400 that's not a relay or something like that. He ran it and won it the last year that it was ever held. So he's never going to be removed. Kind of like your barrel racer, right?
Well, but on the flip side, the NFR was at Oklahoma City for several years with the best in the world.
Oh,
and,
the
and
best.
she had the fastest time ever recorded there.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a little difference.
Yep. And you had the twin. Your twins were doing barrels, so you fought that fight, haven't you?
We fought it. We got out of it. We play volleyball now.
How close is barrel racing with two daughters to owning a yacht?
Oh, it'd probably been cheaper to get the yacht.
I think so. Yeah. They're both just to hold to pour money in, right?
You got it.
Woo. And
Hey, but the memories you have.
and the memories you have. And we were talking about this the other day. Kai Pierce and I were another barrel racer.
Oh, I got stories on Kai from back in the day.
Do you?
Yeah,
Barrel racing stories?
fighting. She
Fighting.
was scrappy.
Scrapping?
Yeah, she could. If you needed somebody in a pinch,
Well, you know
She'd have
why
your
that is,
back.
don't you? She's a redhead. My mama was a redhead. My middle daughter's a redhead. Those people can fly off the rails in a heartbeat. So Kai was a scrapper?
I bet Joe doesn't step out of line very often.
I got to hear all about this. She is.
We probably can't tell that story right now,
Well,
but I
okay,
can tell it to
but
you
we
later.
can tell that story. Yeah. I can't remember where I was going before it jumped the rails there. What were we talking about?
Well, he's talking about.
Oh, I was talking
Kai.
about even back in the day, but more so today. Barrel racing is really the best athlete on the fastest racehorse.
Yeah.
And what I love about rodeo now is to pull in where everybody's parking and look at the trailers.
Oh boy.
I mean, there's everything. I used to, when I'd go to steer roping, remember Reba's little brother, Pake McIntyre?
Yeah.
Pake was a steer roper, and he hadn't made any money yet. And, you know, they came from the ranch. They didn't come from big money. So we'd have a steer rope, and we had one down in Wilson when Arnold Felts was big and Trip steered, had that horse named Santa Claus that was plain white that everybody tried to use because he was wonderful. You'd look at the trailers, and there'd be this one here that came out from the factory at $270,000. And then next to it would be Pake's trailer, which had never had any paint on it. It would hold one horse. It had two wheels on it, on the back of a pickup that may or may not make it out of the parking lot, you know. And that's really how rodeo is today, from one end to the other, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you a good story about Pake McIntyre. Did you know he played a concert at the old Cherokee Armory, I think in 1987?
I did not know that. We had him on that show out at Schroeder's Ranch because he was out. Dennis had a steer rope, and he was in it, and he put on a show. And Susie joined him.
Yeah.
I can't remember Susie's last name. It's her married name, but it's Reba's little sister and Pake's big sister. That whole family can sing. I guess the daddy couldn't sing, probably, right?
I don't know where the vocal talents come from.
Well, they got some,
Susie sings as good as Reba does, in my opinion.
I agree.
I have a question since we're on. Did either one of you boys ever get to see Lane Frost ride?
One time. I saw him one time. Did you ever see him, Justin?
I didn't.
I saw him one time and I wasn't watching really. You know, I mean, it was there. I was there. Yeah.
Did he ever come to the Alba College Rodeo?
No, he didn't go to college.
Oh, okay.
He went pro while he was still in high school, if I recall.
Right
He
out
didn't
of
live much
right out
past
of high school.
What?
Right out of high school, he went pro. I didn't see him ride, but one of his, I guess, proteges was a kid named Jacus White, who's he's a musician now. But Jacus in 1990 at the Oklahoma High School Finals wore a pair of Lane Shaps
Really?
and was the Oklahoma High School state champion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That gives me goosebumps. Woo. So if I had you guess right now, Rosie, what would you guess that Goodnow is here to talk about?
I've been wondering.
Well, I kind of am too, and I'm the guy that's supposed to steer it there. So let's go. Let's go. We go to Buffalo this evening. Will be the Railroaders' last game. And it'll be a nail biter because both teams are one in whatever they've played. And the one for each one of them is a forfeit because Beaver couldn't get a team together this year. So everybody got one victory that was going to play Beaver. So it's over. Now comes Justin Goodnow from South Barber. Tell us what you got up there, buddy, and play like somebody's driving through from Pennsylvania and has no idea what South Barber even is, and start there and get us down to football.
You bet. Well, South Barber is it's the community of Southern Barber County, which is Hazleton, Kiowa, Hartner. That's the school district. And they have a long history and tradition of successful high school football in Kansas. And this Friday will be the regional playoff game against Golden Plains, which, ironically, that's the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So we're looking forward to a big game with them. Right now, South Barber is 7-1 on the season, I believe, ranked number 3 in the state. Depending on what rankings you look at, they're number 3 in one standings, number 2 in another standings. Golden Plains coming in a little bit down from last year. Last year they had a senior loaded team, but they're a 4-5 team. They are located way up in northern Kansas, so they've got about a 4-hour trip to get to us, hence the 5 o'clock kickoff.
But you can stand at one town and see the other one.
Basically.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah, but we the unique thing about South Barber is this is our second year in 6-man football, which, to my knowledge, Oklahoma doesn't have.
I don't know. No, we don't have 6-man. I got that word from Associate SID of NWOSU, Cade Kennedy, who has another new Northwestern shirt on today, looking spiffy. But hang on just a second, Justin. If I may get into the office here of Associate SID, Cade Kennedy, where are you going to be tonight?
Well, tonight we've got volleyball at home for Northwestern taking on Southeastern at 6 o'clock.
That's it?
That's it.
What'd you have? You had like 4 things going at the same time last week. What happened to your schedule? It got them spread out?
Yeah, a bit more spread out. We had soccer yesterday at Weatherford. Saturday's the big day where we've got soccer senior day at noon taking on Southern Nazarene. And then right after that at 2, once the soccer game ends, get over to Ranger Field. They're taking on Arkansas Monticello at 2.
Now, the Mighty Rangers beat SNU in football. Can they beat them in, what is it, soccer?
They've already beaten them at once. They went down to Bethany and won 3-2. So it's a big deal for them because if they win that game or even just tie that game, they are going to the Great American Conference Tournament.
That is a big game. That is a big game.
Yeah, it's a massive game. It's senior day, so get out there and support them. A 10-win season for them. It's only the 4th time ever in the history of Ranger soccer that Northwestern's won 10 games or more.
It's the ride, Rangers ride. So back to you, Justin Goodnow. Back to you. Where were we? You were in South Barber.
6-man football playoffs.
I've only seen it on Doug Swanger's cell phone. I saw about 20 minutes of it because he's got a relative.
He's got a grandson that is a very talented young man.
And I understand a pretty good kid, but grandpas would say that probably.
I don't know where he got it. I know those genetics on both sides. That's an outstanding young man. Just joking, Doug. And
Is Susie listening this morning?
We got a message to the family. I know Doug's not. I think the last I seen Doug was down at Oklahoma State umpiring a softball game. Guy just doesn't quit.
There's not a more fun guy than Doug Swanger. Unless it would be your dad, Bruce Goodnow.
You've never lived. Now, it won't happen tomorrow night because it's the playoffs. They won't let it happen, I don't think. During the regular season, they really don't have as much oversight. But you've never lived until you've went to a South Barber football game and Doug's on the back end of the field with a cannon, and he blasts that thing after every touchdown. And the longer the game goes, the bigger the boom is.
I can picture that. I can.
It'll shake the press box from time to time.
Okay, keep going about your deal because we got big news that you're going to announce.
Well, we're going to have the game broadcast here on 99.5, 97.1, 1340. Is it 1340 a.m. or 1430 a.m.? Anything that you can access KLV on, it'll be broadcast on. Is that right, Cade? And the kickoff will be at 5 p.m. Should be an excellent football game. South Barber is one of the hottest teams in the state of Kansas right now. They lost their first game of the season, and they've been on a tear since then.
Who beat them the first game?
Cunningham, who's the number one team in the state.
So take just a couple of minutes here and give us all the things that come to your mind that are different in 6-man football from, say, 8 or 11-man.
You bet. So we'll play on an 80-yard field versus a 100-yard field.
Right? Is the width the same?
I do believe it is.
Okay.
Yep. And rather than a 1st and 10, it's 1st and 15. If you score a touchdown and what you would see in 8-man football is a 2-point conversion rather than an extra point kick, those are reversed. If you run the conversion in, it's 1 point. If you kick it, it's 2 points. If you try to kick a field goal, it's 4 points. Most of the other rules are the same as far as...
How about the lineup?
Everybody is eligible to receive a pass.
So I can be a center, hike
Absolutely.
the ball to the guy behind me, and then I'm going out for a pass.
Yep. And that's one of the things that's interesting is usually a team doesn't have, the good teams usually doesn't have one center. There'll be multiple guys that'll snap the ball, and that's always fun to watch because you get you a speed guy in there that's snapping the ball. You know they're trying to take advantage of a matchup on the defensive side.
Okay.
So now
you get a fat guy in there, you know that
probably not going to go very far.
probably a short hook pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing to keep in mind is whoever receives the initial snap on offense, they cannot run past the line of scrimmage until the ball is lateral to somebody else. So like what you'll see tomorrow night, usually when we talk about Doug and Susan Swanger, their grandson, Austin's quarterback. There'll be 2 guys in the backfield. They'll snap it to one guy. He'll pitch it to Austin. And at that point, Austin has a run-pass option. He can run with it or he can pass. But he's got 5 receivers that he can throw to before, he chooses to run.
And what's the time? How long have I got to get rid of the ball or cross the scrimmage line or whatever that is?
All day long.
All day long. There'd be a lot of green out there, wouldn't there?
That, it can turn in a hurry. South Barber's playing extremely good football. The last game they played, they won 79-0, and that ended at halftime.
Oh, Lord.
And a couple weeks before that, they was on the road, and they won that game 71-0, and that game ended at halftime.
Now, in 8-man here in Oklahoma, there's a 45 rule.
Yes.
You get 45
Yep.
by halftime, and
It's over.
You got nothing. You don't have that?
We have that. Those games ended at halftime.
Oh, they have to go to halftime.
Yep.
So it
Unfortunately,
was 45-0 in the first quarter, probably then.
I wouldn't rule that out. Yeah. So South Barber, they've had 3 games go past halftime, and one of them barely went into the third quarter before they put that one away.
Okay, so what about substitution? In and out, no problem. Go
Yeah.
both ways, play both ways.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're playing 6-man football, you're limited on your roster. There's a reason you're playing 6-man.
Not too many guys.
Yeah, but we do have a few on the sidelines, and they will sub them in and out. Some will primarily play on defense. Some will primarily play on offense. But you'll see some substitutions.
Does anybody ever kick for points?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll most of the time we will try to kick for the 2 extra points rather than run it in.
What about the field goal? I mean, 4 points, pretty delicious deal.
Yeah, we've seen some try it. We blocked one, which helped us win a football game earlier this year.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, who are you playing? You told me, but I don't remember.
Golden Plains.
Okay.
Way up
So will you
northern
beat them?
Kansas.
You think it'd be over pretty quick?
I don't know. They bring some challenges. They're a good, solid team. They're a 4-5 team, but they're probably the best 4-win team that you'll see in the state of Kansas. They play in an extremely difficult district. The difference between last year and this year is they graduated 3 or 4 seniors that were bona fide studs. The good thing for South Barber is everybody that played on that team last year in that playoff game is back this year. We're still a young team. It's going to be a matchup of opposites. South Barber is built around a lot of speed, whether that's through the passing game or the running game. They balance up really well. Golden Plains is primarily a running team.
They have a big back, probably somewhere in there.
Well, they've got a fast back.
I see.
And if you can contain him, you've got him. They've got a freshman quarterback that's not comfortable passing. So if you can contain the running game, you're going to put a little bit more pressure on that freshman quarterback to try to get rid of it. And it should be interesting.
So in Oklahoma, if you win your district, you go to regionals. You win your regionals, you go to state. What's it? Where you are?
We're in regionals right now. We win this game, we'll go to sectionals. We win sectionals, we'll go to sub-state, then state.
Say that again. What? Subs?
Regionals, sectionals, sub-state, state.
Where's state?
Greensburg, Kansas.
Oh, it's beautiful. Is that where the deepest well in the world is, or something?
The biggest hand dug well,
Hand-dug well.
largest hand dug well. They, that tornado several years ago took out most of the town, and they've got kind of a state of the art stadium in that little town now.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
That's a great comeback story. Okay.
So 6-man and the 8-man state championships are all in Greensburg.
Did you mention your coaches?
I can.
Please do.
Head
This
coach.
is Rosie's show, so mention the coaches.
So our head coach is Matt Cantrell. Matt grew up. He's a South Barber graduate, and he's been a part of the football program for 31 years at South Barber, and the last 11 years as the head coach. He is, I want to say, I think if we make it to the state championship game and win it, he'll get his 90th win. I think right now he's 86-24 for his career. One of the, if not the most successful high school coach we've had.
So you'll be doing the play-by-play. Associate SID Cade Kennedy will be bringing the color and the facts that come to him as he sees them. That's a pretty dynamic duo. So people should be kind of excited about this, I'm thinking. Are you excited? Is Mrs. Goodnow excited? What does the J lady say?
Oh, I tell you what, it's probably going to be as exciting as a room full of bouncy balls. I mean, it's going to be a good time.
Okay.
And I would encourage everybody to come out. South Barber's has a strong tradition of supporting that school, their football program, and every game this year, we've had tremendous crowds. We've got a pep band again. Concession stand's always a good time. If you don't want to pay your price of admission, we call it Whiskey Row on the outside of the fence. They line up on their vehicles
Whiskey
back there.
Row.
So, but come on out. Just remember, it's an early kickoff, 5 p.m.
5 p.m. So airtime will be like, what do you think, Cade? 4:30-ish, something like that? 4:30, 4:40. And you guys will have all the facts. This is exciting. And I get to look on the other end. I'm talking at a conference in Stillwater, so I get to take my cell phone and be a consumer for the second time this year. I listened to Cade do a game earlier in the year, and that was amazingly entertaining. Not a win, I might point out, but amazingly entertaining.
I'll give you a little preview of what to expect. So he's talking about Doug and Susan's grandson, Austin. He's the quarterback. He is closing in on 2,000 yards passing this season in six-man football. But the key to remember on that, they have played most of their games have ended at halftime. So he's put up those stats playing 2 quarters of football most weeks. He is dynamite to watch. It'll be a good time.
Did you have an assistant coach?
What did you say, Rosie? I didn't hear
She
what you
wants
said.
me to mention the assistant coach.
Well, it's her show. For God's sake, mention the assistant coach.
Well, that's
Come on.
that's the head coach's son, Grant.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, they come in the same car.
And I'll mention the other assistant coach. That's Michael Sklar. That's the head coach's cousin. It's just kind of a family affair.
That does not necessarily prevent arguments.
No.
No, not at all. Hey, man, thank you. Tell Daddy Bruce hello. How's he doing?
So far, so good.
How are the twins doing? You got them in, what, soccer now?
No soccer. They just finished volleyball season. Have started practicing basketball. They'll have their first game next week in basketball.
How old are the twins now? There's 2, right? 2.5?
Yeah, there's 2.
No, I mean, that's their ages.
14.
I've missed a couple of years in the twins' life.
Just
there.
a few.
14.
14.
Wow.
Tell me about it.
It's a different day every day, isn't it?
Yeah. You could say that again.
I mean, they are beautiful and wonderful and have been threatened to be beaten from time to time. I don't know if it's ever happened.
Only from their mother. I always say they got their daddy's good looks and their mother's disposition.
I read on Facebook today that the little kid's saying, I want to talk to mommy is a big person's I want to talk to the supervisor. Yeah, right. Hey, man, thank you for coming in. For those that don't know, South Barber's facilities are on the other side of Kiowa, which is not very far from the front side of Kiowa, and a nice facility.
Yeah, great facilities, plenty of parking space. You'll hang a left on Main Street if you're coming from the south. They're at the old corner stop, and just follow that highway around. We sit there on the edge of town.
We are rocking now. We will excuse Mr. Goodnow and thank him, and we'll be coming back to the 91st year of Rosie, thorns and all, right after this.
Yeah.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV.
Alva State Bank and Trust Company, older than Oklahoma, big enough to serve you and small enough to know you.
We love to give back to our customers. Did you know Alva State Bank offers a great rewards checking account program? That's right. You can earn cash back or high interest with our Kasasa accounts. We will even refund you up to $25 in ATM fees.
How do I qualify?
It's simple. Just swipe your debit card 12 times, sign up for online statements, and have one ACH credit or debit post to your account.
Can I do it online?
Yes. Just visit our website at www.alvastatebank.com to see if our Kasasa Rewards program is right for you. We make banking easy. Whether you're at home, the office, or in your car, our online or mobile banking options help you juggle busy schedules and financial needs.
We plant roots where others have branches.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
It's Rosie and Ben on the radio on the most mature and latest morning show in the free world. 11 o'clock on Thursday, that's all. We're not doing any 6 a.m. into 10 p.m. and Monday through Friday and so on and so forth. And the darndest thing has happened, Rosie.
What's
the
that?
darndest thing? I got a little, you know how you can make, some people can make a little card on their
Yes.
phone?
Yes.
I got a little card that we're celebrating 1 year of Rose and Ben.
Yes.
1 year.
How did that happen?
It's a lot, you know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sober, and it seems like it went by just like back in the day when things were a little sketchy,
Well,
memory-wise.
I guess the older we get, the faster it goes.
Not with everything, Rosie. There's some things that are just dripping right along. So, Rosie, what do you want? You went to the casino for your birthday?
I did, and I didn't do too good. Kind of help the cause over there. I'll go to Tonkawa.
Oh, that's a pretty casino.
Yes, and it takes your money pretty fast.
Oh, I bet that's right.
But
You know,
it's
Rosie,
fun.
I was talking about the gambling addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a men's group, and we text and call back and forth and this, that. There's 65 or 70 guys in this group. So this guy married a gal that's originally from New York City, and she went back to see her parents.
Yes.
So he went to, which one did he go to? What's the one out that way? What is that? It's by the Tri-Cities. What is that? Outside of Oklahoma City. To one of the original casinos. Been there.
I don't know. Outside of New York City?
No, outside of Oklahoma City. His wife went to New York City for the weekend.
Oh, I can't think
He
of
did not criticize her for the money that she spent while in New York City, because while she was there, he dropped 17 grand at the casino, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh my goodness. That's a little out of my league.
Whoa.
Oh my, did he bring any home?
How do you bring any home when you drop 17,000?
Well, hopefully he
You
did.
think he went to the ATM and got the 200?
I don't know.
Right. That's so
Holy
right
cow.
Okay, let's go to some other stuff. Who you got with you, Rosie?
Well, I've got Mr. Don Lynch here. He's a member of our museum board. He's a man of much knowledge. We've had him here before because he was a submariner, and he's a pro-Navy man. He does a lot for the museum, and he knows a lot of history.
Rosie,
Yes.
his big day's coming up.
What day is that?
Tuesday, Veterans Day.
That's right. And
Thank
we
you
were
for your
just
service,
speaking that we have not we should have had veterans, and I don't think it'll be too late for us to have veterans next week.
I think you're right.
I think we're going to bring it on, and because they deserve to be
We
recognized.
sure do. Yes, we do.
And I think we're going to have some veterans on if we can get them to come and talk to us. We need to. And so that's kind of something we're looking forward to next week. We're just a little slow on the uptake. But he's
Better
here.
late than stupid.
Well,
However that
yeah,
goes.
he's here to tell us his great-great-grandfather were neighbors to the Frank and Jesse James family. So he kind of has some stories to tell us about Frank and Jesse James, and a little bit of history goes along with that. And I'm going to turn this over to him to tell us a little bit of start and give us a little bit of background on the James boys. And even though this is Oklahoma, he's going to talk a little bit about Missouri. Here you go.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you, Ben.
I had written up my article on the James family, and Rosie did her way of going through it and said, well, you don't want to say that. So I really don't know what I'm going to say.
Well, for God's sake, don't say it then.
We're just going to start out.
That's good, man.
My background is I grew up 2.5 miles east of Independence, Missouri, on Spring Branch Creek. And the reason I bring this up, the bushwhackers ran along that creek in Missouri during the Civil War. Behind our house and behind the creek was called Rattlesnake Hill. And I had a cave up there, and I've always felt like Jesse and Frank probably were in that cave at one time or another. My story really started around 1820 when Missouri became a state. They came in as a slave state. Maine came in as a free state. Everything was pretty good for the family up to that point. Robert James Salee was born in Virginia, and his wife, Zarelda Cole, was born in Virginia also. They came to Kentucky and got married in Kentucky, and then, like most of the Missourians along the river, came on over to the area around Kearney. Now, just a little of the geographics. Kearney is about 10 miles by air north of Independence, Missouri. It's about probably 20 miles from Lee Summit, Missouri, and Buckner and Richmond are in that same circle. The James family settled on a farm at Kearney, 2 miles east, and there Frank was born in 1844. Jesse was born in 47, and then Susan was born in 49. Mr. James was, again, a Baptist minister, and he started several churches in the Clinton and Clay counties and through that area. He was also one of the founder of William Jewell College, which is a private college, and it's still in existence today at Liberty, Missouri. In 1850, he decided he was going to go west to California and preach to the oil fields. And so he went and unfortunately died of pneumonia out there in 1850. That left Zarelda with 3 children and no real support. So she married a man by the name of Mims, and Mims didn't care much for the James children, and so she and he divorced. She later married Dr. Reuben Samuels, who was a medical doctor from Kentucky. He had no children, and they soon had a family of their own going. My part of the family, the Fulton family, came from Virginia, Kentucky, and then into Missouri around 1820. They settled at Holt, Missouri, which was north and west of Kearney, about 2 miles. And it was there that they came in contact with the James family. The James family had settled on a farm and were farming when, in 1855, the Kansas-Nebraska Act was passed. That was an act that said that you didn't necessarily have to be a free state or a slave state to come in. You could be either one. So in 1855, most of the people in Kansas were from over in the Missouri side. They had an election, and the state came in as a slave state. Horace Greeley was a rider back east, and he said, "Go west, young man, go west." What he really meant was, hey, you guys from Philadelphia, New York, Boston, go out there and upset that election, and that's exactly what happened. So in 1855, Kansas came in as the election brought them in as a free state. The Missourians out there were pretty much driven out of the state and back onto the Missouri side. The border war started in 1855. John Brown was one of the instigators of that. He ran down to Minden Mines and killed a family there. That family had 2 Negroes. They killed one of them in the attack. The second Negro was offered to be free and taken back to Kansas, and he said no, he wanted to stay with his family. So old John killed him anyway. The border wars continued until about 1861. In 1861, contrary to what some of the papers report today, Missouri voted to secede from the Union. They had that right as a state coming in to do that, and so they decided they would go to St. Louis and pick up the arsenal at Jefferson Barracks. They went to Jefferson Barracks, Lieutenant Governor Sterling Price and Governor Jackson. And when they got there, Nathaniel Lyons, who was a general underneath of old Abe Lincoln, met them and ran them out. And they escaped back to Missouri, or back to Jeff City. They burnt the bridges behind them. And when they got to Jeff City, the Missouri Congress and Jackson went to Arkansas, and they became the state Congress. And
Is my mic hot? Oh, good. Okay, we've lost a mic. I'm going to have to go. Not have to. I guess I could let him sit over there and just be miserable. But we'll change it back. Okay, while we're out for just a minute, we will pause for this message, and we'll be right back with this history lesson. Stay with us on Rose and Ben. The 91-year-old Rose is here today.
Yeah.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV. Let's talk about your future. Are you looking for a career change or possibly training in computers, health careers, automotive, cosmetology, digital design, electrical trades, welding, or biomedical sciences? At Northwest Technology Center, we offer these programs for adults, high school, and homeschool students from Alene Clio, Alva, Canton, Cherokee, Fairview, Freedom, Ringwood, and Winoka. Call to enroll today at 580-327-0344 in Alva or 580-227-3708 in Fairview. Northwest Technology Center is preparing students for success in education, careers, and life. This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Yes, I guess we had a little mic misfunction, but
we're good.
We're back
good.
on the air now, and I'm going to turn this back to Don Lynch, and he's telling his story about the James brothers.
thank you, Rosie. After the Battle of Wilson Creek, which is outside of Springfield, Frank James came down with a case of the measles, and they put him in a hospital in Springfield. He was captured there by the Union forces and was paroled at Springfield. He went back north and joined up with a fellow by the name of William Clark Quantrell. Quantrell was from Ohio. He'd been a Kansas school teacher. He had helped the Redlegs of Kansas storm over into the Missouri side and steal cattle and house goods and what have you. For some reason, he changed his politics, and he turned them in at Buckner on the Walker farm, and he became a Southerner at that point.
Is that the guy that established Quantrell's Raiders?
That was Quantrell's Raiders, yes.
I'll be.
And Frank joined him. And Frank was in the raid on Lawrence, Kansas. That raid started out at Warrensburg, Missouri, on Blackwater Creek, and they traveled about 50 miles across to Missouri line, came across to Santa Fe, went to Tonganoxie, Kansas, and then they hit Lawrence shortly after that. The Kansas militia had a encampment over on the north side of the river, but they just couldn't get across the river to endure in that fight. The Missourians killed supposedly around 150 men, and then they were chased back to Missouri, but for some reason the North never quite caught up with them. They disbanded when they got to the Missouri line, and as they always did, and several weeks later, Jesse was out in the cornfield, working in a cornfield, and his mother and dad were up at the house, and the Union militia came in and found him, and they hung Dr. Samuels from a tree, and they kept hanging him, thinking he would tell them where Quantrill's raiders were at. Well, he didn't know, so they finally left him hanging, and they thought he was dead. They went down and found Jesse, and Jesse was 16 years old, and of course they tied him to a tree and then they horsewhipped him, and he didn't know where Quantrill was either. So immediately after they left the farm, they cut Dr. Samuels down, and although he had suffered some brain damage, he did live for many more years. Jesse went to Independence and joined up with Quantrill's raiders. When he got there, Quantrill looked at him and said, "No, you're too young." Jesse was a very small man, a slight man, but Frank had a friend named Bloody Bill Anderson, and he convinced Bloody Bill that maybe Jesse should ride with him. And so Jesse did. He became a rider with Bloody Bill Anderson. From there, they went to join up with General Price, who was starting to raid up from South Missouri, and he joined them at Centralia, Missouri. Now, you'll hear of the Centralia Massacre. What happened there was Anderson stopped a train. There were 12 Union soldiers on there. Apparently, they were armed with shotguns. They shot too quick, and they were all killed and murdered. After that, a Major Johnson, who was in the Union Army, came in, and he chased Bloody Bill over a few miles. And when he came up on him, Bloody Bill and the raiders were standing by their horses. They'd stopped to rest their horses. And Major Johnson thought that they were going to fight a battle there. And as it turned out, all the raiders were doing is what they usually did. They tightened their girths back up and climbed in a saddle and came fighting. The Missouri guerrilla carried usually 7 pistols. He carried a shotgun, carried a rifle, and a bowie knife. And traveling under the black flag, they did not surrender. So they rode through the Yankees the first time, killed a bunch of them, turned around and came back again. They ended up having 18 survivors of the Union Army. From there, they went to Richmond, Missouri. Bloody Bill Anderson was killed there. George Todd was killed at Buckner, Missouri, and then they all went on over to Westport for the battle.
Do you think that the James boys created more crimes against the state or just robbed a lot of banks? How did you see them in history?
Jesse James and Frank James were never convicted of any crime. That's number one. Frank was the only one that went into court. He went into Gallatin, Missouri, where they claimed that he was in a bank robbery there, and he went into Gadsden, Alabama. But he was found innocent in both cases. General Joe Shelby, who was the only Confederate officer never to surrender, was his witness at the Gallatin trial, and probably that's the reason that he walked away from that. My own grandmother never thought the Jameses were anything but fine people. She had great like for Jesse Jr. She corresponded with him up until about 1948 when he died.
Corresponded. That was a time of a lot of letter writing, right?
Right. It was letter writing.
Be sure and tell us how each one died.
Hold on to that thought, because we're going to try to pay for the light bill just quickly here, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Rose and Ben on KALV.
Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center is proud to offer comprehensive care solutions for those who matter most. From rehabilitation and palliative care to skilled nursing and long-term care, Beatles is committed to providing comfort, dignity, and peace of mind. Now, with a second location, the Beatles family continues its long-standing tradition of excellence, serving the people of Northwest Oklahoma with the same compassion and dedication they've been known for. Come by and see them at 720 North Share Boulevard in Alva. Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center, your care, your comfort, your community.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
We're back on the air here with Don Lynch, who's telling about the Jesse James and Frank family that lived close to his great-grandfather. And due to our shortage in time, he's going to round us up with, as the boys grew and older, how they died, and maybe some of the bad things they did, or maybe some of the good things. If you can think.
My great-grandfather was Dr. Franklin Henshaw Fulton, and he's the one this story really is about. He died in 1952, so I had time to really chat with him about the James family. When he was 14 years old, he was a intern to a Dr. Skaggs at Kearney, Missouri, and they managed to get information that the Pinkerton men had surrounded the James farm and had threw a bomb through the window. He and the doctor went out there in a buckboard, and they crawled through a cornfield and got up to the house. The Pinkerton men were still around the house at that point. When they got in, they found out the bomb was a railroad flare that the Pinkerton men had thrown through the window. Mrs. James, Mrs. Samuels, had kicked it into a fireplace, and it had exploded. It blew Archie's arm off, or blew Mrs. Samuels' arms off, and it killed Archie Samuels, who was the youngest half-brother of Jesse. Jesse and Frank were not there. But anyway, after that, my grandfather became a doctor, and he doctored the James families up until 1915. In St. Joseph, Missouri, Jesse was killed by Bob Ford and Charlie Ford. He'd been hired by the governor of Missouri, who was a Republican by the name of Crittenden and a Yankee, and given $10,000 to kill him. They didn't think he could get Jesse any other way. So as they killed him,
$10,000 would be an awful lot of money.
It was a lot of money, right? And incidentally, I understand they never got it. He did give the Ford brothers pardons.
Really?
That was it. Yeah. My grandfather was in Kearney at the time. He was a practicing doctor, and so they brought Jesse's body back, and Grandpa cleaned him up. He had been shot in the back of the head. And Grandpa cleaned him up, and they buried him out on the family farm. Then they moved him into Mount Olivet Cemetery a few years after that, and he stayed there for a few years, and they eventually moved him back to the farm. In 1950, a man by the name of Dalton said he was the real Jesse James. So Grandpa was still pretty lucid at that time, and I went and talked to him. I said, Grandpa, was it really Jesse James that you buried? And he said, yes, it was. He said Jesse had 3 wounds. He had the wound to the back of his head, which Ford had killed him with. He had the wound through the lung, which he received that lung in 1865 when he came in to surrender under a white flag in Richmond. And then he had shot off his index finger when he was a child doing his quick draw. And that's the reason his nickname was Dingus, because he shot that index finger off.
His nickname was what?
Dingus.
Dingus?
Dingus.
Okay.
Yeah. Frank went on, and he ranched at Fletcher, Oklahoma, and then he and his wife moved back to the farm in 1911 when Mrs. Samuels died. She died on a train going to Fletcher, Oklahoma to visit Frank. Frank was a very unassuming man and was very well liked. She, on the other hand, I don't know whether I said this before or not, but she was a pretty tough old lady. She had one arm, always wore black, and had a pretty tough voice about her. My grandmother had blonde locks, and my grandmother had set toes up, and when Mrs. Samuels would come in the house, she said, I'm going to cut your locks off. And so it scared my grandmother to death. So she was never real much, Mrs. Samuel was never much of a favorite.
Okay, Rosie.
All right. Thank you for the lesson on the James boys. They were quite historic.
And not far from here.
That's right.
I got a real quick question. We got a minute. What do we got over there? We got 1 minute. Got 1 minute. You mentioned the Daltons. Would that be the Dalton gang that house themselves in the alabaster caverns out here by Freedom? Was that one of
No,
those Daltons?
No, that Dalton was from Texas. His name was J. Frank Dalton, and he is the one that came up with the idea that he was the real Jesse James.
I don't think we're going to stump this guy, Kate. I think we better just move on. Good job there, 91-year-old Rosie with all of the thorns showing today.
Well, yeah. How old are you, Don?
90.
We got a lot of knowledge here.
Years old when he died.
So, you're 90?
And I'm 90.
Man, we can make a lot of money on him, Kate, or these two, just taking them around to bars and have people guessing their ages. Yeah, we can do that. Hey, join us next week because we've got veterans coming on. I'll be in Winoka on Tuesday. There's a 2 o'clock observance at Veterans Day. So hooah, and let's take it on out, Rosie.
All right. You want a quote today? I got
Now,
one.
folks, here's why this is such a valuable show. You get 91 years of wisdom, and here is Rosie with your tip for the day.
This is a little bit abstract, so think with me. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Oh, that's not abstract, baby. That's my life.
Okay.
We'll be back. Carry on.